Final weekend of the regular season, round number 18 to close things out in Major League Rugby, and a game of importance for both of these sides, more so for the Chicago Hounds, who are playoff bound as they take on the Miami Sharks out in Bridgeview, Illinois, just west of downtown Chicago. Here are the standings brought to us by Globant. Focusing on the right side, the New England Free Jacks have won their third consecutive Eastern Conference Championship. They're the 1 seed, NOLA's the 2. Chicago right now is the 3. If they take care of business tonight, they remain at 3. Old Glory, though, has a chance to bypass Chicago with a loss for the Hounds. Great to see you and be with you alongside our resident fly half, Will Hooley. Rob Hammerschmidt will join us pitch side. My name is Ben Holden. Great to have you with us here. Long season, Will, down to the final night of the regular season. This match is important to both these sides because of what?
Well, Chicago, they need to lock up third, because if I was thinking if I've got to go to the reigning champions at their place in a championship playoff game, I don't know, it's very difficult. Meanwhile, try and go to NOLA, they're new to the playoffs, they might succeed. I don't know. As for Miami, they either go out of this deflated and move on, or they actually go finish with a bang, go into next season, giving something to go after. It'd be interesting.
They have a shot to win 7 matches in their first season in this league. That is saying something. Time now to take a look at Will's head-to-head matchup tonight. It's brought to us by IBJI. Going with the Sixes.
I'm going with the Sixes because these two have been outstanding all season, and Flesh is ready to get going for Canada Internationals this summer, and then Bonasso's going to get ready for USA Internationals this summer. They get through so much work. Look at them there, carries, meters gained, and their tackle success. Both teams will want to play with control and tempo, so both these players are essential in achieving that, as well preventing it from each other as well.
Looking forward to seeing how that all unfolds. And can Chicago hold on to that 3 seed, or will DC catch them? Miami's trying to get a win to close out the season. The kick is next.
It's time to hit. It's time to pass. It's time to train, step, and tackle. It's time for tradition. And time for brotherhood. It's rugby time, America. It's rugby time, America.
It's a snapshot of the season.
20 minutes, empty the fucking tank, we get back together.
Y'all better get with the movement.
Tonight's presentation of Major League Rugby is brought to you by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, the official medical partner of the Chicago Hounds. Northman Cider, the official cider of the Chicago Hounds. And by Black Toro, official partner of the Miami Sharks. Well, Well, Miami, they have South Beach. Chicago has Lake Michigan. Time to look now at the starting lineups. They're brought to us for Chicago by Ardmore, Roderick, Will Hooley.
Well, there's two changes in this lineup from the win last week against Anthem. Good to see Dylan Faucett back in there, the USA Eagle, and also Charlie Abel into the front row. Keep an eye on those back rowers as well. Fletch already talked about. As for the backs, just the one change from last week, and it's USA Eagle Nate Osberger who comes back into the side, replacing Noah Brown. There are so many threats across all of those backs. Rob Webber has his reserves, but for Rob Webber, this is a time that he's coming towards the end of his coaching experience in Chicago, as he has just signed up for Saracens next year. We'll talk a bit more about that later on.
You sure will. The Miami starting lineup, they're presented tonight by Memorial Healthcare System. How do the Sharks stack up for this one?
Well, they've also made a couple of changes from their win last week against Old Glory, and it's in the front row. Evans and Pusey come in there. They are really strong scrummagers, and they expect a lot from this 8 as a pack for Miami. As for the backs, there is a couple of changes. Nick Grigg comes in at 12, but then great to see Shane O'Leary. He's been out since round 4 with a ruptured PCL, so great to see him back in the starting lineup. Jose Pellicino then has his reserves on offer, but you talked about it, Ben. This is a big day for Miami to try and go 7-9 in their first season. That is really impressive. He's been impressive as head coach. Let's see how they get on today away in Chicago.
Yeah, we'll dive into that more as we move along in the broadcast as well. Impressive first season in the league, and match officials brought to us tonight by Arctic. 10th MLR match of 2024 for that man, Scott Green, the veteran. 22 penalties on average, 9 yellows and a red he's issued so far as the former number 8 who had a 20-year amateur playing career. Khalil Harrison, one of the ARs. Andrew Dunn is the other. And our good friend Cam Russell is on site with Will and I here in Indianapolis. He is our TMO tonight. Scott still looks like he can lace up the boots and get out there and play, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. Got a great tan on this time of year as well, Scott. Good to see him, and good to see the Hound coming out with the ball. Such a good venue, this one here in Chicago at SeatGeek Stadium, as we are ready. Shane O'Leary's ready as he comes back from Miami. And Miami, as mentioned, they have a lot to play for today. Although they are not in the playoffs, they still want to try and spoil the party here in Chicago.
They do. A big party they've had all afternoon. And Miami, this is what we know about Miami. They will finish 5th. It's just a matter of how many points they end up with. A 6-9 side. They'll finish in that 5th spot, as I mentioned. And this one is about set to be underway. The Chicago Hounds currently sitting in 3rd. If things end the way they are now in terms of where they're sitting and Old Glory sitting, then you've got New England playing Old Glory in the quarterfinals, and Chicago would play NOLA. Of course, Chicago in the green kits here, Miami in their Miami colors here tonight. As they move it through the phases, this one's intercepted, and here they go, back the other way. Here come the Hounds trying to house this one, and they do! In the opening 30 seconds of the match, Luke Carty, welcome to the party.
Oh, welcome to the party indeed, Ben. Luke Carty, I've never seen him move that fast in my life. Yes, he's holding on to his hamstrings. I hope he's okay. He's even surprised how fast he's moved. Good to see the USA Eagle get another start in that 10 jersey, and bang, just picks that pass off Shane O'Leary. I did say I'm really looking forward to having Shane O'Leary back in this team today. He's been out with injury, but that first pass from him, just too flat, just asking too much. And in the end, Luke Carty, they're both originally from Ireland. They know each other reasonably well, and he has just picked his mate off there, unfortunately, for Shane O'Leary. But for Carty, that's a try, and what a start for the Hounds.
What a season it's been for Luke Carty. I mean, you talk about the Chicago franchise. It's been up, down, a roller coaster with a coaching change. Won 4 in a row, lost 4 in a row. They changed coaches. They won 2 in a row. But for Carty, it's really been a roller coaster, Will. I know you can talk to that well.
It's been a real roller coaster for him. I mean, I spoke to him in the week, and you know, he wants to gain some consistency in his performance, but obviously, of course, selection. As he lines this kick up, I want to see him play well today as he goes towards playing for the USA Eagles in the next couple of weeks. It's important that he gets some good game time to him.
So Carty eyeing this one up, made a huge impact back in round 16 against San Diego, that Monday night victory they had, and Carty striking this one, and he gets that one through. So it's Luke Carty 7, the Miami Sharks nothing here so far, Will, and we get a look now at your keys to victory. Rob Weber, the interim head coach for the Hounds. Keys to victory brought to us by Ardmore Roderick tonight.
Well, funny you mentioned Rob Weber, because we spoke to him actually earlier today, and he said when his side has been going well, it's they cut out these back-to-back mistakes, and a lot of them are unforced. If they can just get their handling right, get their discipline right, stuff that is in their control, that's when they're at their best, because they are a really good side when they have the ball. As for Miami, well, I've already said that they've got nothing to lose today, but at the same time as well, they've got so much experience across the board and threats. They've just got to play the side who has nothing to lose, but at the same time, don't just throw it away. Make sure they're in control of this match. They want to leave this season on a high.
Yeah, they sure do. And now the kick back to Chicago, and here come the Hounds, but Scott Green calling this play. This play going to be called, I believe, an offside call by Scott.
Yes, I believe an offside call as well. Now, that is a rule that has changed, I think, recently times. I believe that's actually something called the DuPont rule coming into play in terms of movement from the pass. It was enabled him to be onside, but because he was, in the end, I'm not going to get it's quite complicated. It was just ultimately from an offside position where the number 8, Ardal, was trying to come in and defend from.
Very good. Let's get down to the third member of our crew tonight. We mentioned him, Rob Hammerschmidt. Always fun to work with Rob. Rob, welcome in.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Boy, if I close my eyes based upon the temps, I would have thought I was in Miami, not Chicago. Temps are hovering in the mid-90s today, and expect them to impact the game just a little bit, at least early on. But you notice there's a shadow being cast by those north stands onto the pitch, so don't expect the heat to play as big a factor later on in the game. That being said, there's a great crowd here today, and they were welcomed to the Dogtown Block Party that was introduced at last year's MLR Final, in which Chicago hosted 10,000 fans to their stadium, which is a record for an MLR Final. Today's block party continued. Today's theme is Pride Night. The Hounds are celebrating Pride Month in conjunction with the Brave Space Alliance.
Look out here. They go
back up
towards
top.
the line again, and they've got another one here, Rob, as that one's taken in by James Scott here in the 5th minute. It's 12-0. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, well, the fans are being entertained, obviously, not only by what's going on the pitch, but what's going on off the pitch. There was a DJ and a local band, Sweetie. Kids arrived at the pitch, were able to enjoy rides in a petting zoo. There was a curtain raiser involving high school rugby and a girls' rugby camp. And, of course, Chef Art Smith's Sporty Bird was in the house with the Irish spice bag, here to satiate everyone's appetite. The Wags, wives and girlfriends, welcome the boys onto the pitch with some great special shirts made for the boys. And tonight, High Infidelity will be playing in the house after the block party continues. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Rob. That's a lengthy itinerary and a very busy day at SeatGeek Stadium for the Hounds, and Carty's on to try his second conversion here of the night already here into the 6th minute. And Chicago coming out very sharp, going with a full lineup tonight. Of course, the international break comes up at the conclusion of the regular season here in Major League Rugby. The playoffs don't begin until the 20th of July. So everyone wanting to get a rep, everyone wanting to keep their continuity and get an opportunity to play before a long break. And Carty with a strike there with the right. That one pushed a little bit left. So it remains 12-0 here, Will, as we look back at the try.
Yeah, so much was going on there. Rob obviously telling us everything that's going on today, but also check this out for the handling from Chicago Hounds. Just in and out, and lovely delay on that last pass from McLean Jones. In the end, it's the big man that gets over in Scott, but it's the handling, a lot of confidence. When you see a side handling like that, that screams confidence for me. So Chicago moving the ball early to space, and a second try already.
3rd try of the season for the number 5, James Scott. The Hounds right back to work. Adrian Carlson gets in there. He's running at the fullback spot, number 15. Of course, Carty at the 10. The scrum half tonight for Chicago is Nick McCarthy. And McCarthy getting set here. Send this ball skyward. Take from Miami. Let's see if the Sharks can get a little rhythm here. They haven't had the ball much here in the opening 7 minutes of the match. Kick way up, and Miami able to come down with a good job by them to get in there and get to it. 6-9 season, this Miami side. Winners last week at home, 17-12 against Old Glory DC. And keeping an eye on that match, as Old Glory has a chance to leapfrog Chicago, but Miami going to have something to say about that. Here they come with some movement, and this is Nick. Greg leads their side with 6 tries, make it 7. He takes it in, and the Sharks counter. They're on the board here in the 8th minute.
What a try, what a try, and it was just a play as well that was built up before all of that, which was so good from Miami. Finally, they had their hands on the ball, playing with some confidence of themselves. I mean, literally, let's talk about shock and awe. They've barely been in this 7 minutes, but as soon as they have had the chance, it's the ball movement as well from them. They're using forwards to pull out the back. So in terms of taking this up from now, it's now the movement from 10 to the forwards, eventually, when Cabelli takes that in, using your forwards as playmakers. The ability to go to the line, Kirby Myhill, and be an offering as a player, then getting through contact, then getting the offload away. It looks really impressive. Similar styles to Chicago are playing as well, using their forwards to play make, and in the end, just got his hands free for an offload. Well played, Miami Sharks.
No doubt about it. Flags go north. 12-7's the count. Greg, very experienced international player, the Scottish international. It's 12-7 now. Get a look at our Cold Time Lager weather report, and it's a bit toasty in Chicago. 90 degrees, sunny skies. The wind around 12 miles an hour. That'll mess with you in this stadium at which end of the pitch?
It will. Well, actually, it swirls. So ultimately, it will come in. It will come in one side of the stadium and just sort of move its way around. SeatGeek notoriously difficult as a kicker. So well, I'm sure Shane O'Leary would be grateful to have a pretty easy one to start his kicking off. But as for Miami, they'll be pleased just to settle themselves into this game, because you've got to say, I was talking about shock and awe tactic by Chicago. They've been absolutely all over them. Miami haven't even had to do anything, couldn't have done anything, but as soon as they got some phase play going, great take in the air by that man, number 15, Matthias Freya. Good to see him back, get some consistent game time, and ultimately they get themselves a try, more settled.
Your former teammate in San Diego had a chance to catch up with him earlier in the week. And on the left of your screen, a live look in at NOLA Gold and Old Glory DC. NOLA's locked in. They're the 2 seed. They'll be at home for the first time ever. 7 years, one of the old guards in Major League Rugby. Their first time in the postseason. Are they going to play Chicago, or are they going to play Old Glory? Chicago wins and maintains. It's Chicago and NOLA in round 1. And Old Glory would get to renew their rivalry with New England, who locked up the 1 seed earlier today. Short pitch here. Good dummy there from Meeks. Greg gets to him. And down they go. Now Carty looking to play that on there, but O'Keefe was not there. And now they try to take the Chicago ball carrier into touch there. And that was Dominguez, and I believe they accomplished that.
They did, but it wasn't actually that great from Mark O'Keefe. He just was running too flat, almost beyond the ball. So Carty's pass had to hit the floor. It was behind him. First bit of sort of, I would say everything is the continuities look really great for Chicago. So that's probably their first error, first handling error. I mentioned before, Rob Webber really wants to cut down these unforced errors. There's one there, but it's about not going back-to-back. They don't want to go back-to-back errors. That's something they've been really poor at this season overall. And as for Miami now, they're looking to just try and exit away from their third.
Exit for now and get that ball into the air. Dominguez is back there. You see him, got the head wrap, got the knee wrap. Look at Julian Dominguez. Good run on the carry there from him. Now Billy Meeks turns, takes a look. Here comes Chicago looking for the break. Adrian Carlson, good pick up there, just inside of the 22. Meeks right there, grabbed it, picked up another 4 meters. They get it free from the base of the ruck, and then Miami trying to take this away, and it goes into touch. So Miami, a good job defensively there.
Good job defensively, but the Hounds are cooking. I'm telling you, the way they're moving this ball. It was, again, speaking with Rob Webber, they want to move the ball into space, get it to their dangerous runners, like someone like Julian Dominguez. Look at this, offload, see you later. Sorry, handoff, see you later, and another one to his Argentinian friend in Cabelli. That's what you want. You want dangerous players like that getting their hands on the ball early, getting their confidence going. Oh, that's a great steal from the Hounds.
Sure was.
As they get the ball back.
Big in that line out there as they were looking for Vandenhoven there. The number 5 for the Sharks, but Miami comes away with another turnover. They get it back, but Scott Green halting play here. And I believe he's going to go back. Is he looking back at this lineup?
I think there was so much movement of that ball. They're questioning who did it come off forward first. Just comes off forward from the Miami team. So it is Chicago. Great line-out steal from James Scott. He's been brilliant this season. The former Worcester and Jersey man. Obviously, Rob Webber would have known him well from Jersey Reds.
Yeah.
Of previous, so yeah, he's been excellent. The whole set piece in Chicago has been brilliant. I look at them last week, line-out was 100%, scrum was 100%.
Yep.
There's areas of this game where Chicago all season have been really strong. Other areas of their game, they've just been inconsistent, particularly around those unforced errors I've already mentioned. If they can cut them out, they could be a title chance this season, the outside chance. But the way they've been going the last few weeks, they've been looking good, and been looking good in the start of this game.
Well, I mentioned earlier in the show, they won 4 in a row from April 6 to May 5. Then they lost 4 in a row from May 11 to June 10. They've won their last 2. Sam Harris out, call it what you want, relieved of his duties, fired, whatever, left on his own accord, whatever it was. Rob Weber's come in, they've responded, they're 2-0 since.
They have responded. You can tell the players have responded as well. Sometimes it's like that when a coach leaves. This is a free kick just been given, early engagement from Chicago. But yeah, look, Chicago have the players. There's no doubt about it.
They do.
But, I mean, I'm a broken record in saying it already now numerous times. It's consistency.
Yep.
And consistency gets you to the playoffs, so they've got away with it because they haven't always been consistent this year. But if you want to win something this year, Chicago, they have to be performing consistently well throughout all facets of this game.
And when you look at this league, want to get your thought on this. You think of consistency, you think of Seattle, you think of New England, right? Who else would fall in that category? Are those the only 2 that you would say that about?
I would, without being biased, San Diego Legion.
I understand.
And they're always in the playoffs.
Right.
But a team like Chicago, you know, they've got the ability. So now it's about showing it as they have this attacking line out just inside the half. Let's see what they can produce.
Scott went up to get it. He's in the middle, and the scrum captain there. The push is on. Vandenhoven there for Miami, number 5, trying to pull, but he's got to get back over on his side, and does, trying to hold up the push here from the Hounds. Now they get it free to the back. Hard charging run there from Luke White, the big number 8. Had a try last week against Anthem. Thought he had one a couple of weeks ago against San Diego. It was overturned. Now Chicago. They work the near side, trying to kick through there. It was off a Miami player. And the Hounds stopped in their tracks there. McCarthy in there. Gets it free back for the captain, Billy Meeks. Carl Saturn gave it off. Here they come up that touchline. Augsburger, he gives it off. Looking for the offload there. Mason Flesch couldn't get it. They play it back, though, and Chicago comes away with it. What a sequence there. And they're going to get this one in and down. Mark O'Keefe, the benefactor of that play. And the Hounds make something out of what looked like nothing, and it's 17-7.
Smart, efficient, clinical play from the Hounds, and it ends up getting into the hands of Mark O'Keefe, who just powers through. A little bit of fortune right at the end, but it's this play here from the prop. Charlie able just to pull that out the back, sit some defenders down, and then they pick them off. Great late pass from Nate Augsburger. Fletch does really well to stay in bounds here. Get away with it a little bit, you could say, from Nick McCarthy, and then that pass right at the end. Keep driving, O'Keefe. Mark O'Keefe over the try, but it was all in the phase play before that. Really confident stuff, really moving the ball well, fixing defenders, and the Hounds get their 3rd try already in this match. Oh, they're looking hot.
Up by 3 points in the standings. I say that. You get that next one, of course, the bonus point would come their way. Would put them up by 4. That last look, Nola was on top of Old Glory, the team chasing Chicago. 5-0. We'll keep you updated as we go along here throughout our broadcast as Carty is on for another conversion attempt. That one right down Michigan Avenue, and it's 19-7 Chicago.
It's great to see someone like Luke Carty. As a USA Rugby fan, you've got Adrian Castle on the pitch. He's actually in the top 5 point scorer in MLR. He's been kicking well this season.
Yep.
But give Carty the reins. He's been given the 10 jersey. Let him do everything. He is a kicker. Let him goal kick. Let him take charge of the attack. I'm sure he's now been doing that in the last couple of weeks. He's got a wonderful boot. I want this. I enjoy seeing this as a USA Rugby fan perspective because I want him playing well in the next couple of weeks if he gets the opportunity against Romania and Scotland in an Eagles jersey.
Now let's think back too, and hopefully I don't bring up a sore spot here, but early in the season, Billy Meeks was playing at 10. Luke Hardy couldn't even get on the pitch.
Well, that's gone now, but yeah, that was frustrating times. What a little kick from Freya.
That was pretty there by your former teammate, but it's taken away here by Chicago. But Scott Green gonna blow it down, coming in from the side there, he says, and it's gonna go over to Chicago.
Can't tackle on the floor. Matti Freya with a beautiful chip and chase. Did everything. It just didn't sit up into his hands. But once you're on the floor as a player, you then can't reach out to try and then tackle a player. Not allowed to do that. That is why the penalty goes for Chicago. Shame, because it was a really good spot from the fullback of Miami Sharks. Watch this. Little chip over the top. Deft touch. Oh, it goes straight to his hands. My bad. It's the offload in the end. And yeah, you can't, while you're on the floor, then make a tackle. You know, we called him at San Diego Legion Silk.
Silk.
Because he was silky smooth in how he moved. And he just showed up there, Matti Freya.
Nice. So here in the 19th minute. Chicago up 19-7.
Drive.
The penalty call going for Chicago, and Carty will pop this down the pitch and look to set him up for the line out here. We approach the hydration break here. The Hounds have come out on point here to start, scoring in the first 30 seconds of the match.
Well, they've looked like a playoff team.
Yeah.
That's been really good for them. As I say, Miami here to spoil a party. They want to try and end this season well, going then into next season. But the way the Hounds have been going, it's been clinical so far. Let's see what happens from this lineup.
Big sequence in this match here for both sides. Flesh went up to get it there. At the back, the Butcher, Dylan Faucett. 10 tries on the season. He had 2 last week in a 3-minute span that helped Chicago really put the match away, and he does it again. He carves up another one. Faucett goes in. That's 11 tries on the season, and the Hounds lead 24-7.
All aboard the Butcher train, and he came through the middle like one. Oh, it's another try for Dylan Faucett, another one in his name. As you say, 11 tries of the season from the big man. His first year in Chicago Hounds colours, and he's looked very much at home. Great setup in the maul, and they just keep pumping him going. Look out at Fletch as well. The work he's doing right at the front, honestly, don't take that for granted, because that ends up getting the takeaway from that maul and the breakaway, I should say, from Dylan Faucett. Great work, great setup from the Hounds, and in the end, go on the big man. He gets over.
11 for him this season, and he just continues to produce week after week. And you know, that Anthem match last week, that thing was tied 19-all at the half. Chicago was down a couple late stages of the match, and it really wasn't until Faucett and company in the 70th and 73rd really put that one away. They had to really earn that one. So here's Carty to try to put his side up 26-7 here. The hydration break will come after the kick. And he misses that one, and it's a 24-7 lead as Dylan Faucett, 11 tries on the season. Hounds on top, 24-7.
One product is creatine, white protein, vitamin D, super EPA, fish oil pills.
I chose to take Thorne supplements over another brand because they're sports backed. We know it's tested and it's safe to use. There's a wide variety of benefits that range from sports performance to neurological benefits. I know it helps me increase my lifting capacity.
That they're third-party tested, that they're NSF certified.
And they also taste great, so that's why I choose Thorne.
Welcome to the Rugby Rundown on the Rugby Network. Join myself, Alex Corbacero, and Will Hooley as we bring you your weekly rugby fix.
With the big news, special guests, and unparalleled access, this is your rugby show.
From college rugby, Premiership Women's Rugby, MLR, and more, we've got you covered.
Watch exclusively on the Rugby Network.
Come along for the ride.
24-7, Chicago on top. Dylan Faucett there with his 11th try of the season has extended the lead. Let's check in with Rob down on the pitch sidelines.
Thank you very much, Ben. I'm here with Miami Sharks assistant coach Tui Osborne. Tui, very excited to have Miami in the league this year. What has been the biggest highlight of the Miami Sharks' inaugural season?
Thanks, Rob. I think establishing our identity in the Eastern Conference and beating three teams out of that conference. Obviously missing out on playoffs, but proud of the guys.
Well, it's interesting to talk about performance because, quite frankly, by and large, Miami have had a really successful season. More successful than most first teams. 3 of 4 playoff teams in the East you guys have put a win against. So what have been some of the keys to the franchise's success?
I think just the constant improvement every week from the guys, their dedication, the coaching staff, just building the culture and having the mindset of always trying to improve weekly.
Very good. Tui, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the game, and good luck going into 2025 season 2.
Thanks, Rob.
Back up to you guys.
All right, Rob, thanks so much. And you put it into comparison, you look at Chicago last year, Will. They won just 3 matches. They went 3-13. They beat Dallas twice. They beat Utah at the end of the season, basically kept Utah out of the postseason. And Dallas the year before didn't win a match. And it took them really until the 3rd year to get their consistency and continuity. Fair to say Miami's way ahead of schedule in that regard.
I was really impressed when I went down to their facility back in January.
Yeah.
Just everything they were getting in place from off the field, from the accommodation, the players' happiness. You got happy players.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're probably going to play better.
Yeah.
And there is what people don't maybe understand at home is like, this is a brand new franchise. It's not as though you've got history or you can go back to and players that know each other really well. Like, no, it's literally was set up in the last 18 months maybe, which is just not a long time. But they've done so well on the field. Great stuff what they're doing off it as well. The growth of rugby in the Miami, Florida area, remember that. And ultimately, they're very handy teams. They attack now inside the Chicago Hounds 22.
Here they go now. Base of the ruck, they get it free now. Up 3 meters inside of that 22. Couple tries from Miami last week at a narrow victory over Old Glory. Now the ball to the outside. Marcos Young, former member of Old Glory. Scott Young bringing this back. There was an advantage being played.
This is the part where I say nothing to lose, so it wouldn't surprise me if Shane O'Leary kicks this into the corner. They've got a strong set piece as well, the Miami Sharks. Look at the big number 3, Ronaldo Pucci, the Uruguayan international. He's at the World Cup in 2023. Every time I've seen him on the field, he's been a monster. In the scrummaging area, in the mauling area, picks around the ruck. Good to see him back in the lineup. And someone like Kirby Myhall as well, really experienced, former Cardiff Blues, cap for Wales. Rob Evans as well, at loose head prop. Cap numerous times for Scarlets and for Wales. Lots of experience in this pack as they try and get something going now, 5 meters out.
Ricky Rose went up to get the line-out ball there, the former #1 pick in Major League Rugby. We welcome those of you that are watching on the Marquee Sports Network in the great city of Chicago. We've been on the app. Nice little ball there. And nice offload results in a quick try here for the Miami Sharks. They take one in. They get 5 more, and that one taken in by Tomas Inciarte. That's his 3rd of the season.
That all looked very, very easy.
It did.
And it just came really nicely from the hands of Nick Grigg. He's got himself a try already. Great to see Big Rose. I was telling about the experience in the pack, but you also got someone like the draftee, the #1 pick in Ricky Rose, who's been brilliant for the Miami Sharks. But as Rob Evans just breaks away, or sorry, Kirby Myhill breaks away, it's this little get through the line and offload from Nick Grigg. Poor defense from Chicago Hounds. I don't know who it is. Yeah, Luke Carty just misjudges it, doesn't get a shot on. And in the end, Grigg just gets out of the tackle for an offload. So there you go, a quick 7 points, and Miami are now back in this game all of a sudden.
They sure are, and the one area you look at with Miami, at least the area, one of the areas I looked at is as much good as they've done as we've talked. 6 wins, 9 losses. They had a little bit more punch in their offense. You're talking about a team that potentially could have been in the postseason their first year. They come in dead last in the league, 36 tries and just 309 points entering today's match here.
It's very difficult when you don't have a big, long off-season, or pre-season, I should say, to really establish an attacking structure. So I would say naturally that will get better, as I say, when they have more time together. I hope that they do keep the majority of this squad going into next season, as much I'm sure that they will look to bolster it with names. So yeah, slightly disappointed on the try count for Miami. But I would say off the other side of the ball, they've been a good defensive side. So there you go. If they can, as you say, they can just pick up their attack, score those tries more often, then they could be a really challenging side next year. But they are still very much in this game. Matti Freya didn't get very much a good clearance kick there. So Chicago now 30 meters out. They need to just stamp their authority back on this match.
Little housekeeping. Chicago has subbed in Lucas Rumble, wearing 20 for Luke White. Here's the 2-time back of the year, Billy Meeks. Captain of the Chicago side, the carry there, one of their centers. One of the very best centers in the league. There he is, puts the ball into the hands of Flesh. He's a big man to tackle. Got it free to Meeks. Meeks got it free. Here's Augsburger trying to charge his way to the line. He's a couple meters shy. They get it free. Now they're about a meter shy of the line. Getting in there, McCarthy. Stretching, did he get it down? Not yet. Not yet. Miami trying to hold right at the try line. Scott, what a tackle there, head on. Manuel Aradao took him on. And now Miami gets a little push. Chicago a couple of meters back. They were right on the edge of the line. Now the Hounds getting it free. To the back now, dummy, little slow play there with some speed coming around now. Good offload there. The Hounds in trouble. The ball comes free. Miami dives and gets on it.
No advantage. Yeah.
What a passage of play here. And Miami, one of their players, one of the Chicago players, that's Dominguez for Chicago. He needs some medical attention.
Maybe a slight clash of heads.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. It was fast and furious in that area with Julian Dominguez. And it looks like Matthias Freya, they're going to probably keep an eye on him with an HIA. So there you go. That's a big impact. I question whether it was a flaring elbow or something completely unintentional that might have just catch Freya in the face. We're going to just see if Scott Green's going to have a chat with his TMO now.
Can we clear this contact?
Cam Russell is the TMO.
Checking the contact now from 15 pink.
That's the voice of Cam right there. Vantage point from where Cam Russell is here, just outside of our booth here in Indy.
Contact on 15, raised down. Offside.
So we're just seeing, having a look whether Matthias Freya does. I mean, doesn't look like. Be interesting his right hand, whether it comes across the face of Julian Dominguez. Is that just a head clash? Relatively upright. Be interested to see what the TMO views on this, because it's a rugby incident, but if there's head-on-head contact, could be potential some foul play.
Time off, of course, here with 27-25 expired here thus far in the half. Chicago with a 10-point lead. They opened up in the opening minute. Try by Cardi.
Scott, do you have me?
Here's a verdict, I believe, coming.
I have no clear head contact. You can remain with your on-field decision.
So what do you make of that?
I'm not sure we had a good enough camera angle to see it completely what happened.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So you will just check in there. Contact, no hit contact.
That's just facing them.
No, I contact again. Yeah, I got okay. No disrespect. No hit contact. Yeah.
And Matthias Freya, you see, clearly needing help coming off the pitch, and you certainly hope for the very best for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's just a shot to the nose, and it's just bled. So I'm hoping it's maybe not a concussion. Now, I'm not saying that's ideal. I'm sure his wife won't think that's ideal watching back in Florida, but at the same time, it looks though he's okay. Hopefully both him and Julian Dominguez are fine from that challenge. So, penalty, kick back into the corner. We know what happened this last time round. Expect Dylan Faucett. He'll be wanting another one.
Scored in the 20th. They go up and get it. But it's a penalty.
Number 6, you got in front.
Violation there. You heard Scott Green, Mason Flesh, guilty of an infraction there in the lineup.
Something they've really cracked down on this Major League Rugby season, when that guy coming down with the ball, if there's someone in front of him from the attacking side, that is technically from an offside position, then they're going to blow the whistle. Scott Green, not the only one who's been calling that out this season. They've been hot on it, no doubt. David Wilkinson, head of referees in Major League Rugby, has been talking about that throughout. So clear indication then, you've got to get your setup right. Miami then get themselves out of the 22. We have a look at Matty Freya there.
Oh boy.
Hopefully he will be okay. That looks messy, but hopefully he'll be okay, I'm sure.
So a 10-point lead here for Chicago, but if you're Miami here, you're right in this thing. It's 10 points, but they've moved the ball down a couple of times, and Noah Brown has checked in, the dangerous rookie wearing 23, to replace Julian Dominguez, who we'll mention also involved in that play with Matthias Freya. Up in the air. Hounds trying to make the take. They can't. Came right into the hands there of, looked like Marcos Young over there. Came up with that grab. Kubeli, scrum half for the Sharks. Now Miami, good speed there from Chicago. Getting to it quickly. Not much room on this far side of the pitch. Now the Sharks trying to slip through there, get a little bit of a channel. It was Naposki, but really nowhere to go for him.
Good line speed from the Chicago Hounds. Yeah, would not surprise me in Miami. They haven't really got anywhere in the last few phases. They look to try and put the territory back on, relieve some pressure.
On cue, there it is. Halfway line, the take from Chicago. Pryor first in there, the number 7, the flanker for Miami. Carlson's there. He'll play it from the base, and a good quick tackle there. Revo Pitt had nowhere to go. The loose end prompt for Chicago.
Great steal. Brilliant steal in the end by the experienced Rob Evans, but it was the line speed from Ardao, Manuel Ardao, the Uruguayan international. We just got off the line and made that quick tackle, as you said, Ben.
Yep.
That put Chicago on the back foot. As soon as you get on the back foot, the clear out has to come back to then go in, which takes more time. And then Rob Evans was straight over the ball. Brilliant defense. Great defense originally from Chicago. Miami were trying to play out of their own third. I was questioning some of their decision-making in that area. And then in the end, Miami Sharks did exactly what Chicago was doing. Put the pressure on defense, got the line speed going, got the turnover, and now they find themselves inside the Miami 22.
You talked a lot about the guy we just saw there, Shane O'Leary, 31 years old. It's been 14 rounds since he started a match. Long time away. Hard to get back into a rhythm, but he's given it a go here tonight. They give him the opportunity. Is Santiago Videla not in their lineup, their normal 10 here tonight. Chilean international. Clean out continues here. The Sharks get to it. Ricky Rose, the former Bonnie at St. Bonaventure. He and Kyle Sequeira of New England. Most notable alumni to come out of that rugby factory in the college ranks here in the U.S. Right in the middle of the park now, Miami. Good movement here as they work through. Kubeli getting it free. Kirby Myhill with it. Out of there it comes. Outside. Good speed, Chicago. Couple of meters gain. That was about it for the Sharks. Heavy run here. Chicago winning that battle, though. Not rolling away is the call, says Scott Green.
Winning that battle, but yeah, just that bit of ill discipline right at the end. Again, mentioned it early doors about unforced errors and controllables. James Scott just falling the wrong side of the ball. Miami clearly trying to play a direct game, trying to bash the door down. They've got some big players, big ball carriers, but the Chicago Hounds, ultimately the defense is holding up well and their line speed is coming. Both teams trying to bring that line speed, put the pressure on the attack. And in the end, penalty given.
All right, let's take a peek. In Germantown, Maryland, Old Glory, they're in the 4 spot. They're up by 7 on Nola Gold. So, Old Glory, 3 behind Chicago. Chicago, all they need is a victory. 4-point, 5-point. They got the bonus point already. So Old Glory right now would play New England. Chicago would play NOLA. Those would be the quarterfinal matchups in the East. Meeks in there trying to get that ball free at the 5-meter line. Ball down on deck, picked up though by Miami. Vandenhoven got in there. One of the 2 locks along with Ricky Rose up front. Sharks toward the line. There's Rob Evans, the loose end prop. They get it to the back now. Outside, they got some space. They'll get this one into the corner and down. Eric Naposki, he puts it down for his first try here in 2024, and it's 24-19 now, the kick coming.
What a play. And again, it's Nick Grigg. It's Nick Grigg who does it so well. He comes back round the corner. Just hold it here. Watch for this man from Miami Sharks, the number 12, the Scottish international. He's going to move himself late all the way to where he sees space. Just watch him now as it plays on. Watch it as it keeps in contact, keeps in low, and then he sees it. He points there, then he just goes there, communicates with his 9. There's the overlap. That is wonderful play from the 12, the Scottish international, getting it done. He's scored a try, and that's second assist. Great start from him.
Won't see that in the box score, the final numbers, but a critical play, as you so well pointed out here. And this Miami side, we talked with Freya, and look, he basically said to us, he said, we're going there to win. He goes, we're not going there to lose, we're going there to win. It means a lot to our side.
They've got a lot of fight. They've got a lot of fight. I mean, it's that South American passion that's very much about them. As we see now, Shane O'Leary line this up to go within 3.
See the wrap on that leg that he injured. O'Leary, the strike, and O'Leary just missed it. Just outside of that stick. So it stays a 5-point match here, Will.
Looking, working around the corner, takes it behind him, and then he creates the overlap. The fact that he's worked so hard, and that's the thing for what I would say for youngsters out there. You are never out of the game. Just because you think you've got a bit of play where it's not your side of the pitch, if you can work yourselves into position, you can be so pivotal to then creating that extra man that then ends up creating a try. Great work from Nick Grigg.
So Chicago, when Dylan Faucett scored in the 20th, had a 24-7 lead. Miami scored in the 25th and the 34th. Inciarte in the 25th. Naposki, the most recent try. And we got a 1-try match here. Goes right back to Miami now. Here in the final 4.5 minutes of the match. Kick over the top, bouncing ball. And it's picked up and handled by Ardo. He's a good-looking player. Ball handled here by Philippe Echeverry. Number 23, who's checked in. He's got 3 tries on the season. Plenty of kicking out of his boot this season. He kicks at 62%.
Play on, just rip, play on. Rip down, play on.
Grigg down on the turf. Echeverry with it. Tries to sidestep a tackler, and he's going to be buried under. Final 4 minutes here in the half.
Unlucky. Unlucky. It was great defensive work by Charlie Abel. I thought he did so well to pretty much manhandle Echeverry. He's just obviously come onto the field for Matias Freya, the Uruguayan international. They didn't try and blitz through, they try and counter-ruck. Let's have a listen actually to Scott Green when he talks to Billy Meeks, the captain. And unfortunately, we're not going to hear it off his microphone. I think what he's saying is there's multiple penalties now in the last sort of few minutes. Got to be careful, could potentially be a yellow card.
Yep.
I would say Chicago was slightly unlucky there. That counter-ruck looked really good. And in the end, though, deemed by Scott Green that they dived on the ball came off their feet.
Yep.
So here we go. Miami, albeit was a lot. First 15 minutes was all Chicago, Ben, but now we've got Miami back on this scoreboard.
Yep.
And they can roll this one in.
They were down 17, as I mentioned. The big man, Ricky Rose and company, getting set to get ready for the set piece coming. Charlie Abel there. Shane O'Leary, the Canadian. So the 5-meter line out here. Huge moment in this match. Miami trying to get it tied and potentially take the lead here. Push continues to the line. That one's down. That one is down. A well-executed set piece from Miami there. They dot it down, and we are tied at 24.
Amazing. And what setup that was. Kirby Myhill getting himself over for a try. The Welsh international. Everything looks so clinical and smooth, from the take from Dan Pryor getting up well to then this build-up. Myhill gets the ball early at the back, and it's just coasted in, it looks like. Chicago don't even really throw a punch to try and prevent it. And in the end, Miami Sharks, wow. That just looked all a bit too easy for me, Ben. I'm not going to lie. And Shane O'Leary kicks this goal, and I can't believe it. I would not have thought Miami would have been in the lead at halftime if we went back about 15 minutes ago in this game.
17 consecutive points from the Miami Sharks. And there's the try scorer there in the middle. Number 2, as Will mentioned, Kirby Myhill. O'Leary eyeing this one up. Trying to make it 19 consecutive points for Miami. Of course, last Saturday we had a wild one here on the Rugby Network and around the Major League Rugby broadcast outlets with Utah and Dallas. Big comebacks from both sides in that one, and so far in this one, the comeback has come courtesy of the team in pink, the Miami Sharks. That kick is good, and Miami leads this thing 26-24.
26-24 in a game. Like I said, they got nothing to lose. And when they went down early, I did question whether all their heads would have gone down, and frankly would be thinking about the beers afterwards. But no, the Miami Sharks have really come into this.
Right now they're thinking about victory beers.
100%. And that's the thing. Again, speaking with Matty Frere, we really hope he's all right now at the field.
Look
Great
out here.
take from Ulsberger.
Yes, gets it to James Scott. So the Hounds trying to pop them back in the mouth here before halftime. Here they come. They got some speed out over the top. Dominguez, who's back in. Dangerous every time he touches it. Dominguez gets free and gets it down. What a play from Julian Dominguez.
Oh my word, this game is nuts. How the Hounds just created that out of nothing. Well, Nate Ulsberger's take from the restart was superb. And Julian Dominguez back fresh off, just coming off the field, I believe, for an HIA or treating a cut to the head. And he just swats people off on the outside channel. Watch this take from Ulsberger. Oh, I hope he gets doing that in USA colours in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, and the way it's just moved. I actually thought Luke Carty just threw this pass a little loopy. Not sure he had to do it like that, but in the end, just get it, I guess, to the man that's going to do this. Shane O'Leary will be disappointed with that tackle attempt from the number 10 of Miami Sharks, but wow. Julian Dominguez having a bit of fun. I think that was Mark O'Keefe. That's impressive from the Argentinian. Another try for him, and the Chicago Hounds will take the lead going into the halftime break.
7 tries on the season for Julian Dominguez. And it's a 3-point advantage for Chicago right now as Carty steps into it.
Great kick.
Yep, that's good. 31-26, our halftime score.
So there you go.
Are you entertained yet?
The game's gone back and forth. Chicago coming out the gates on fire. Miami then deciding to show up. And wow, that last 10 minutes, Ben, can you believe it? 31-26, and it's only halftime. You don't want to go anywhere. Wherever you're watching, make sure you come back after the break.
Rugby Network, Marquee Sports Network.
YouTube,
that's right. MLR YouTube channel. Valley Sports down in South Florida, where the Stanley Cup champs reside. Release the Hounds. That's how they start the match. Cardi was released early on, but Miami, the Sharks smelled some blood in the water, and they came back. We got a barn burner here in Chicago. 31-26 Hounds at the break.
The moment you have all been waiting for has finally arrived. The first rugby game that allows you to play and get rewards is now live. Step into tournaments, be the ultimate manager, earn free jerseys and match tickets. It is the heart of rugby, now in digital glory. Build your strategy using real player cards. It's your game, your moves. Buy, trade, play, and create your lineup. For cards, your legacy. Experience rugby like never before. Take your fantasy rugby experience to the next level. Join Overlay.
Rugby is a sport where teamwork truly makes the difference. In alignment with the values of rugby, Globant and Major League Rugby join forces in a powerful innovation scrum that aims to elevate the sport using the latest technologies. We are already co-creating digital solutions to impact the game, the fans, and the global community in a sustainable way. When technology meets passion, the unthinkable happens. Globant, technology that dares to delight.
It's time to hit. It's time to pass. It's time to train, step, and tackle. It's time for tradition. And time for brotherhood. It's rugby time, America. It's rugby time, America.
It's time now for MLR All Access at the Half, along with Mark Stabina. I'm Stacey Pates, and we have fresh off player of the match performance from NOLA, the playoff-bound NOLA Gold, that is, Jordan Jackson Hope. Nice to see you again.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So, your first question. Drafted by the Saints in 1971, he's the only player to wear number 8. He's famous, but not as famous as his family. Is it Sean Payton, Jim Plunkett, or Archie Manning?
I'm going to go A, Sean Payton.
Ah, it's Archie Manning. The Manning boys have Super Bowls under their belts.
Jordan, great question. Let's talk MLR. Averaging 3.6 tries per game, how many tries have NOLA scored in total this season? Is it 48, 54, or 60?
I'll say B, 54.
You know your try scored. Well done.
What New Orleans neighborhood, also known as Vieux-Carré, is home to Jackson Square, Bourbon Street, and my favorite, Café du Monde? Is it Frenchman Street, the French Quarter, or the Garden District?
I want to say B, the French Quarter.
Yes.
Damn,
I had beignets coming and going last weekend.
So NOLA has the least amount of these in the league. What are these, Jordan? Penalties, turnovers, or yellow cards?
I definitely don't think it's penalties or yellow cards, so I'm going to say turnovers.
Oh, you underestimate your team. Yeah, yellow cards. It is the least amount. You do have the most red cards, though. So maybe that's what you're thinking.
The signature Mardi Gras dessert is the king cake. What is traditionally hidden inside the cake? Is it a plastic baby, sprinkles, or beads?
Yeah, I'm going to go A, plastic baby.
You got it.
Okay, see how well you know your team. One of your forwards is in the top 10 for most line-out takes in the league. Who is it? William Wagsback, Malcolm May, or Cam Dolan?
I know Wags has played most of the game, so I'm going to have to go with him A.
Well done, powers of deduction. You know your team.
Player of the match, now a great trivia player as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Well, fans, we would love to see your fan experiences. Just listen, send us pictures when you're at games, enjoying rugby anywhere in the world. We would love to see it. Send it to allaccess@usmlr.com, and you might see yourself on our show. Enjoy the second half.
Understand the game in its fullest. You need to understand the game in its fullest. You need to understand what's happening to the ball.
Gilbert is synonymous with every major event that's happened in our sport.
The ball is a conductor of the orchestra. We put a tiny microchip inside the ball. We're getting location information from the ball. Speed, spin, distance, trajectory, hang time.
The technology and the innovation behind this ball is truly a game changer.
With the right plan, the right team, and hard work, even the most unpredictable events can be overcome. At USI, you have the whole team on your side, protecting you from the unexpected and making sure you bounce back better than ever. We take the time to understand your concerns and provide solutions with customized game plans for you and your business. It's Major League focus and results for you, and we call it the USI One Advantage.
Let's get ready. Major League Rugby is now.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
The Rugby Network is giving you all the free MLR content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit, never miss a try, never miss your team. MLR on TRN. Never miss a match.
Cubeli passes to Videla, to Inciarte, Dan Pryor in the centers. It's a fullback who passes to Freire, and it's a good run, and it's an Inciarte. He's got support on the outside. It's Monasso, the international, and the Sharks open with a try. Score on the post, my man. And he scores, and that's
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Major League Rugby. 57 points here in the first half. Chicago on top of the Miami Sharks, 31-26. Ben Holden, Will Hooley, Rob Hammerschmidt. Time for our flyer on the league, Will, brought to us by American Airlines. This is where we are on the final day of the regular season. Every match will be completed today, and the regular season will be done.
Well, look, it was a wonderful night yesterday for Utah Warriors, setting nearly an attendance record, just under 11,000 for that home game. But it's been a poor season for them. LA, congratulations, new team. They got a job done away in Utah. New England, top of the tree in the East. And that's a really interesting halftime score. DC holding on to New Orleans, which means Chicago have to win today to get third.
They do, and right now they're in, pun intended, a dogfight indeed. The standings up to date brought to us by Globant. Everything in the West locked in. Nothing will change. Houston will play Dallas. Seattle will play San Diego. And on our side, the East, the only thing, as you just mentioned, to be determined, the 3 and the 4.
Well, as it stands, that is what it's going to look like
Correct.
In the East. But, I mean, when I just look at that, Ben, it's been such a competitive season. It's gone down to the wire. It's gone down to the last week. Really, really exciting. Those playoffs are going to be so exciting as well. We still have work to do, though, in the second half.
We do. 57 on the board. Will we get another 57 in the second half? I bet the fans in Chicago hope so. Broadcasters kind of do too. We enjoy it like you. We're back right after this.
The moment you have all been waiting for has finally arrived. The first rugby game that allows you to play and get rewards is now live. Step into tournaments, be the ultimate manager, earn free jerseys and match tickets. It is the heart of rugby, now in digital glory. Build your strategy using real player cards. It's your game, your moves. Buy, trade, play, and create your lineup. For cards, your legacy. Experience rugby like never before. Take your fantasy rugby experience to the next level. Join Overlay.
With the right plan, the right team, and hard work, even the most unpredictable events can be overcome. At USI, you have the whole team on your side, protecting you from the unexpected and making sure you bounce back better than
The moment you have all been waiting for has finally arrived. The first rugby game that allows you to play and get rewards is now live. Step into tournaments, be the ultimate manager, earn free jerseys and match tickets.
Tonight's presentation of Major League Rugby is brought to you by Ardmore Roderick, the official engineering firm of the Chicago Hounds. Cold Time Lager, the official beer of the Chicago Hounds. Visa, main sponsor of the Miami Sharks. And by Bean, main sponsor of the Miami Sharks. Beautiful Chicago, Illinois, and a beautiful night in Bridgeview. Out west, it's our Northman Cider Tri-Summary. Will Hooley, I may need a new pen if this keeps up.
Chaos. Let's just say that. Utter chaos. From minute 1 to minute 40. Started with the Hounds, finished with the Hounds. But my word, look at that period for Miami Sharks. 3 back-to-back tries. This game is tight.
And the halftime stats brought to us by Sportable. What's grabbing your eyes the most?
The penalties. Okay. Because Chicago ultimately have let Miami, they played well, Miami, when they've been given the chance to get inside the Chicago 22. They've got to cut down these penalties. Though these are things what I was talking about, unforced errors, controllables.
Yep.
They want to genuinely be a side that can get through the playoffs. That has to be better for Rob Webber's men.
All right, those are the halftime statistics, and 57 points last Saturday night between Utah and Dallas in the first half. A week later, 57 points in the first half of this match. Let's go back and remember, this was a 24-7 lead for Chicago when the Butcher Dylan Faucett scored his 11th try of the season in the 20th. And then Miami went 25th, 34th, and 38th before Dominguez capped off a wild and woolly first half in the 41st. Underway here, Miami in the pink kits, very Miami looking, against the Chicago Hounds here, the final day of the regular season here in Major League Rugby. Chicago 3 points in front of Old Glory. Chicago currently 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They would play NOLA if things stand. And at last check, Old Glory winning against NOLA. So this game means everything and then some for Chicago if they want to maintain the 3 spot. Now, good offload there. Here come the Hounds looking for help as McCarthy. He gets it. But Miami with 2 right there in the ball carrier quickly. Spun free, now they're going to kick one into the corner. Chase Ford is on. Down there, good job to reach up and grab that by Echeverry, and that's really all he could do.
Smart from Luke Carty, though. I actually thought he was going to go back to the other side of the pitch because there was a slight overlap on the left-hand side.
Okay.
But because of the kick, because ended up that the fullback had to come up, or sorry, the wing had to come up from Miami in the previous phase, there was space in that backfield. Very smart kick from Carty, putting the pressure on. Call it coffin corner because it's a horrible place to be in as a defender. Echeverry can't actually do much more than what he did. So now, Chicago have a first attacking line out from the second half. See what they can do here.
And the Hounds, you mentioned earlier, they were great last week. In fact, they were perfect, 15 of 15 in the lineup. Their set piece was on. The Butcher's at the back. Faucett's got the ball under his left arm. Number 2 in there. Is he going to slip off of there?
It's a tackle.
And Scott Green, the wireless mic on our lead referee, Khalil Harrison, Andrew Dunn, the ARs, and our TMO's Cam Russell.
Scott Green made that very clear. He said that was a tackle. It must have just slightly broke away from us as we look at it on screen from the far side of that maul. Once then it was a tackle. You can't then stay in there to try and say that, oh, well, I've held up the maul and therefore the scrum goes to the defensive team. No, tackle's made. You've got to roll away. And in the end, Scott Green has pinged the Miami Sharks. So disappointing for them. Understandable, though, by the referee. Another chance. That maul looked pretty ominous in the last time. Dylan Faucett, can he get 12 this season?
Trying to get a dozen is the Butcher. Of course, another big night last night for Michael Manson. He had 4 last week. Utah, and another wild one. They lost, though, against LA. A good win for LA to close out their regular season. No postseason for them. The push is on. Down it goes. McCarthy's in there, taking a look to the right, looking left. Now he's going to come and go left with it. Now outside, dangerous ball there. Dominguez gets it. Can he get free? Offloads, trying to go to Carlson there. And they can't handle it. The Hounds with a handling error.
A free play from Chicago. They had the advantage. It's kind of a case of just get it to Julian Dominguez. I kind of just feel like as soon as he has the ball, he's making things happen tonight. He's moving well. He's handing off well. He looks as good as he's looked this season as Scott Green.
Ooh.
Previous play then from collapsing that maul. There you go. It was Kirby Myhill who's been sent to the bin. So now Chicago have a player advantage in the forward pack. I wouldn't be surprised they look to try and push this in.
Yep, there goes
Once
Myhill.
again, Dylan Faucett, Kirby Myhill's opposite number. Another chance to try again on the scoreboard.
So down a man here in the 44th minute. Faucett ready to
Time is on.
throw this one in down the tunnel. Up and down they go. Faucett's in there. Under the left arm. At the back. Holding on. Trying to split off that left side. The ball put back to Miami, though, comes up with it. It's a penalty call here on Miami. Tap and go from Meeks, but Scott Green's going to say, not so fast, my friend.
Let's just listen in to Scott Green.
Yep.
Okay, 3 penalties now. First one, number 5, playing the ball on the ground. Number 2, collapsing the maul. Here again, number 1, swimming around the side of the maul. Okay, we can have no more. Number 1, would you like to talk to your players? I need the discipline to change. Do you want to have a word? Have a word. Yeah, have a word. Time is off.
Number 1, Rob Evans, the loose head prop for Miami.
Okay, that's 3 in a row now, boys.
Probably fortunate that the last one was a yellow card. Then maybe, to be honest, Miami got away with that one. Then the third one wasn't a yellow card.
Okay, we're happy. Captain, we're happy.
Given a warning there from Scott Green.
And these two sides are 2 of the least carded teams in the league. Both their numbers very low in the grand scheme of things. Sean McNulty, he's in. Due to Myhill being in the bin. Here we go again, and Faucett not off the back of the maul. Little flick to him to the outside, and the Butcher carves him up again. He's got a dozen tries on the season, and the lead is 10 for Chicago here in the 45th.
A lovely, well-executed move of the line out. The Butcher's in. Dylan Faucett in for another one. It was smart. A little wrap round the front, which I'm not always the biggest fan of. I'm not going to lie. I don't see them being pulled off that much.
Okay.
But if we just play it on and just pause it now. Just pause it now and watch where Dylan Faucett is. He looks like he might join that maul, but it's a bit of a fake. In the end, he's just going to stay there, play it on. Lucas Rumble then comes around. Sorry, McLean Jones.
Yeah.
He comes around. Dylan Faucett stays in that channel, and it's a 2-on-1 with Cabelli. Well, they would have seen that in the week with the 9 defending on his own at the front. Smart play in the end from the Hounds. And there you go, another try for the Butcher, Dylan Faucett.
That's 12 for him on the season. Luke Carty on. A 27-meter conversion attempt here for Carty. Inside of 8 minutes to go in the card. The yellow that was assessed to Kirby Myhill back in the 44th minute. Tomey's leather, and Carty gets that one perfectly in between the sticks. Third member of our crew, Rob Hammerschmidt. Rob.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, I believe it was Mike Tyson who was fond of saying everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Clearly, both of these heavyweights in the Eastern Conference are trying to land the knockout blow. I talked to each of the coaching staffs going into the sheds. First, Rob Weber, the interim coach of the Hounds, he said he was real frustrated in the first half because they let Miami back into the game with a couple of scores after a really great start. He said their defense needs shoring up. It was not very good. And I spoke with Tui Osborne, the assistant coach for the Miami Sharks, and he said they did a great job recovering after a very rough start in that first half. He said they want to bring that energy from the last 15 minutes of the first half in to the second half to start off. Let's see if they can do that after letting in that score. His 12th, Dylan the Butcher Faucett. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, we'll see how all those things play out here in half number 2. Chicago back up with a double-figure lead. It's 38-26. The kick to the corner there. And that'll set up the line out here coming up.
Double figures as well as they're creeping towards the Chicago Hounds penalties.
Yep.
Said about it before at halftime. We looked at those stats. Chicago, great try, and then off the restart, concede a penalty. And now they're met with Miami potentially try-scoring opportunity of their own. So for the Hounds, that's not good. That's not good to see. As now Miami get it going.
McNulty, he's running at the hooker spot with Myhill in the sin bin. McNulty's got it at the back, number 16 there. He's got 2 tries this season. Near that touch line, trying to work himself back in, and it's taken out of the back there by Kubeli. Kubeli played it on. Good tackle there at the 5-meter line. Kubeli quickly to it. McNulty's got it again. He goes back a meter. Once again, Kubeli in there. Chicago standing their ground here. Kubeli. Faucett there. Read that play perfectly to Dylan Faucett. Now Echeverry played the ball into the hands there of Inciarte. He's got a try, still got it. Does the number 13 for the Sharks. Kubeli. Looked like he wanted to take it out of his own, but it's going to be whistled here by Scott Green.
Played on the 9. 6. No more, mate. Number 6, late on the 9. Yeah, sleep alone.
So there you go. They're trying to get in Cabelli. I mean, Cabelli is such a nuisance for Miami Sharks, and Chicago would know they've got to get to him. Rob Weber actually said when we spoke to him earlier today, he said, we've got to get to Cabelli. He's so experienced, 89 caps for Argentina. But the thing is, you can't take him out late. So once Cabelli passed the ball, you then can't just take him out. So, again, it's another penalty that's just going into that count for Chicago Hounds. And I think this game overall, like, Miami shouldn't even be in this, really. Credit to them when they've had these opportunities inside the 22 of Chicago Hounds, but Chicago have given them the field possession from their old discipline. So here we go. Can Miami make them pay again from this lineup?
That was Tomas Kubeli there, the 9, and no, they don't. In fact, they make a big-time mistake there. Good ball here, and the Hounds trying to exit the 22. But a good tackle now. The Hounds, they cough it up and throw it away. It's all over the pitch now, and it goes into touch, courtesy of Miami.
Everyone just taking a breather there.
Yes.
Just, I think, unsure what happened. Was someone in the way from an offside position? Was it just stripped in contact? Great little offloading to get McLean-Jones away. I think.
What do you see in there?
I don't think I see anything in there. I think Nick McCarthy's just slipped out his hands, and everyone's complained to the ref.
There's the possession story, relatively close. 6 percentage points in favor of Chicago, and much bigger advantage in the territory of where this match has been played. And there's the story on the penalties that Will has talked about with Chicago. They've given 8 to Miami, just 6 from the Sharks, going the way of the Hounds so far here in the match. Under 3 to go, and the yellow card to Myhill.
+1 on that as well. It was 7.5 time. They've had 2 penalties, so I'm not sure where the stats come from on there, because that's definitely going 9, going towards 10. But anyway, here we go. Let's just get out of their half then, Chicago, as Nick McCarthy puts boot to ball.
Sends it down the pitch. Echeverry will pop one up. Up into the air, off the fingertips, came down to Meeks. Now Carlson, he's got some fancy feet. Adrian Carlson offloads it, plays it back. Here comes Billy Meeks now. Meeks with a good ball. O'Keefe now trying to go back to McCarthy, and it's broken up by Miami. Still live, and now Green blows it dead.
Shame, real shame from Chicago as they broke brilliantly away with Carlson. You've said he's got dancing feet, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Beats
does.
people for fun. From the kick receipt as it went up in the air from the Miami Sharks boot. As we see, yeah, great work from Lucas Rumble, and Billy Meeks just offloads it to his fullback. Then it's the hands here, but Mark O'Keefe does so well to straighten up, and then that's a poor pass. Really poor pass to his number 9 in the end.
You saw there on the right side of the screen, Marcos Young reaching for his head there, took a shot in there. The winger for Miami, number 14. Sure if he's come out of the match or not. Miami will take this. They're 1:15 away from getting their starting hooker, Kirby Myhill, back. Here in the 53rd minute. Chicago up a dozen. That one pulled down by the Hounds.
Early. Sticking time early.
In June, MLR teams wearing and auctioning their limited edition specialty jerseys. All of the specialty game-worn or autographed jerseys are being auctioned by MLR partner Dash. Bid on your favorite players' one-of-a-kind jerseys by texting MLR to 66866. That's MLR to 66866. Old Glory wearing their cherry blossoms tonight. Signature
lovely.
DC. There's so many good ones.
Oh, so many good ones.
I love the San Diego ones. Being a military guy, I love that one.
Of course, but for me, it was RFCLA. That Lakers purple that they wore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, some
Showtime.
great kits on there. Go and have a look.
Yeah.
Go and have a bid. Some limited editions. Shane O'Leary finds a wonderful kick.
Yep.
That's a big boot from the Canadian international as they get themselves back up towards the 22. So Miami just staying in the fight here, really staying in the fight. And Chicago, again, not penalties this time, but just an unforced error has enabled Miami to get closer up the field. A few changes now as well. It's that time of the game where you're going to see the bench unloaded. Bench impact is going to be key, as we still have, 27 minutes left.
17-17 in the Old Glory and NOLA Gold match. Billy Meeks with it. The yellow is over. Bottom left of your screen there, the hooker number 2, Kirby Myhill, back in. So no damage really done for Miami with Myhill in there. Besides, they did give up the Faucett try, but it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse indeed. They are, yeah, they're still very much in this.
Yep. 2 converted tries away.
I believe they are.
I'd love to see someone like Benny Benasso get his hands on the ball a little bit more. Singled it out before the game. The USA Eagle, 3 tries to his name. He's been brilliant both sides of the ball. You know, number 6 in tackles for MLR as well.
Saw Paddy Ryan, who's in. At Chicago about a month ago, he scored a try. The big man. He was running at 9 that day. He was doing everything. He was dishing it, getting in, taking it out of the ruck.
Paddy's one of many talents. He's also had many clubs. I think he's played at half the clubs in MLR.
I was going to say, he's got to be on a handful of sides so far in his time in the league.
He's also a very good scrummager.
Yep.
So there you go.
Big man.
A new front row coming on. Is someone down injured or?
Yeah, slow to get up there. And see, that's
Revol Pitt.
Yep, their loose head prop, Nicholas Revol Pitt.
Good bit of business that to get the young Argentinian on loan from the Jackals this season.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that earlier, but look, you look at this squad for Chicago. They've got guys not even in the 23 who are top quality players.
Oh yeah.
That's why they would have, you know, when they look at their records, 7-7-1. 7 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw. Hopefully for them, that goes to 8 wins today. But high hopes for this team, but I still have high hopes for them. I've seen enough in this game from their attack, and they're going another one here off this line out. If they can hit it, not to
if is the key word. Now here comes Miami. They got some space outside here. That's Echeverry. Echeverry greeted by the Minneapolis, Minnesota native Nate Augsburger. 14 for them, back after a couple of weeks out. Looks like Griggs shaken up. Checking his left eye there in the middle of your screen, down in the bottom there. He was reaching for his left eye. And as you pointed out, he has a try in the first half and was very critical on another try for them. A veteran player on the Miami side. So the penalty called here on Miami. The kick here will set up Chicago for a Dylan Faucett lineout upcoming. The AR there, you see where he's at. That's where it'll come. And on the left, a live look in. Germantown, Maryland, 17 all. There are those cherry blossom kits, the city editions that Old Glory's wearing. Nola Gold locked in at the 2 spot. Old Glory currently 3 points, well 4 points back now because Chicago's gotten the bonus point. They need Chicago to lose, does Old Glory to move up, and they've got to win.
Tight game there happening in Germantown, as we still have quite a tight game here in Chicago.
We do. Close, competitive, both teams scoring a ton, 31-26 at half. Here's an attempt at a break. Mason Flesh on the Canadian team for the summer series. One of 3 Canadians, Rumble and Higgins, the other 2 on the Chicago Hounds roster. There's plenty of USA representation for Chicago as well. Here's Carlson, good offload. Dominguez, he's a try waiting to happen. Dominguez, about 12 meters shy of the line. McCarthy couldn't get it. And now the turnover from Miami. They come up with it. Ardal, who's always around the ball, they're number 8.
They're on here as well. They've only got James Scott on this left-hand side. They move it.
Played out of there by their 10. Their 10 is O'Leary. Now trying to get a break is Grigg. Good tackle there. Tracking him down there was Mason Flesh. Miami to the ruck. Kubeli played it back and booted down the pitch by O'Leary.
Tired bodies on the field now. Ball's been in play quite a bit. Carlson looks to try and pick a few off. Got to get realigned though, Chicago now. Get back on your feet. Get back in the attacking line.
Campbell is in the match, 22 for Chicago. Saw him get in there. The ruck arrival for him into the clean out. He's been out for a few weeks with a concussion. Kick coming here. McCarthy sends it skyward. Take back there is O'Leary. Ball knocked down by Miami.
Everyone can have a breather. And I believe a hydration break as well.
Yep. Will take it with him. 38-26. Chicago on top as they try to maintain 3rd in the Eastern Conference here in the final night of the regular season.
I chose to take Thorne supplements over another brand because they're sports backed. The products are also top of the line and they also taste great. It's important that the substances athletes take are tested for banned substances. One, because you want to make it a fair, even game, especially with the other players. And you want to make sure what you're putting into your body as an athlete is clean, researched, science-based, and it's healthy for you. So you want to put good in and get good out.
Yeah, Thorne has helped me a lot, especially in the last couple of months. I've had to pack on some weight to be able to play in this league, and I think taking creatine and protein every day and adding in a couple other things has made me a better athlete, a bigger athlete, stronger athlete, and just overall prepared me well. So I take creatine every morning when I first wake up. It's kind of like my checklist or part of my routine. I usually have a protein shake, a Thorne whey as well, so I usually just throw it in there or throw it in with some BCAAs. Whey protein definitely makes my life easier because I can come straight off the gym, straight off the pitch, and it takes 30 seconds to mix up a protein shake.
On pitch side to Rob Hammerschmidt.
Again, thanks, Ben. Look, we are at the end of the 7th regular season in the MLR, and we knew that one of the knock-on benefits of having a solid domestic league was that more Americans would not only play but be developed in this league. And we're seeing that happen across the board in all teams. Of course, we have a guy like Noah Brown, lights out this season for the Hounds, but we also have a Miami Shark, Alec McDonald. He comes from the St. Louis area, Francis Howell High School, played his rugby at Lindenwood University, went up to Rugby New York, then Houston, and in the dispersal draft ended up in Miami. He plays prop for them, and he's got a great crowd here, about 30 or 40 friends and family, all wearing pink, celebrating his playing in the MLR, and it's great to see guys like Noah, guys like Alec, plying their trade here in a domestic league as professionals. Back up to you, gentlemen.
Yeah, it really is. Great to see the growth continue here in the 7th year, and fair to say, Will, this has been the most competitive season?
I think so.
You agree?
I think across the board.
Yeah. And you got a Miami side here, 6-9 in their first campaign, as we've talked about throughout the match here. It's a penalty call here against Miami. They got a chance to win 7 matches here this season, and when you look at Chicago and Dallas, well, Dallas and Chicago chronologically the last 2 to come in as expansion sides. In the first 3 seasons between those 2 sides, they won 5 matches. Dallas didn't win a match the first year in 22. They won 2 last year, in Chicago in their first year won 3.
Well, it just shows, you know, how much of a good season Miami had, and then equally as well, the build and the development that Chicago now have done in their second season. I mean, as I say, they have a strong squad. They've now got different guys on the field. Looks like Venter's on at the hooker spot.
Higgins is in at scrum half.
Yeah, so they had a penalty against them, but they just got a strong squad. And Miami will build on that, I'm sure, for next season. I do hope they keep the core of the squad together overall. But at the same time, yeah, they can still be very proud of what they've done this year. And hey, Ben, mate, there's 20 minutes of this game still to go. They might still come back.
Yeah, they're in this thing. They're 2 converted tries away from taking the lead in this thing, and they were down in this match in the 20th minute, 24-7, then ripped off a try in the 25th, the 34th, and 38th before Dominguez capped off the first half for Chicago. And here in the second half, just 1 try. It's come courtesy of Dylan Faucett, his 2nd of the match, 12th of the year.
Looks like Nick Grigg has just come off number 12 for Miami. He's been superb today, the Scottish international at 12. So as he comes off, he's had a fine last game of his MLR first season.
And MLR veteran Giuseppe Dutoit has checked in for him. He wears 22. Pace of this match has slowed down here in the last 10 minutes or so. Miami, though, pushes it all the way out to the halfway line. And they've got the back line to break something here. They're going to look to do that. Got to chip away at this deficit of a dozen.
That was clever from Cavelli. Now, very clever.
Even Scott Green's laughing.
Wow, he looked up and he was waiting for his forwards to get around the corner, but they weren't there. and therefore, what does he do? He deliberately passed it into it. So as it play on, just when it hits the 12 going up, or Detroit, sorry, who's just come on, you can see the big forwards, it's a big ask for them to get round the corner. I think McNulty, he's like, where are you? But in the end, I think that's deliberate, because he knows he passes it to the referee, he gets the scrum back. So very clever. I think that's deliberately clever from the 9. He might be trying to find McNulty, but heck, let's just go with my theory.
I like it. I agree with you based on just seeing that and seeing the reaction of Kubeli, who's got the put in here, and Scott Green.
Here we go. Let's watch. Well, let's have a look at this 2-on-1 down this side. They will try and defend with the 9 Higgins of the Miami Sharks. Oh, there you go. Actually, Noah Brown. I thought he wasn't in picture, but they have a blind side and an open side to attack as they go to the open.
Yep, Brown in the match, 23, dangerous. Now Echeverry, he's got speed. Here he comes. Outside. Into the 22 they come. Laid back. No ball back. Instead, they keep going forward. Now the Sharks inching closer to that 5-meter line. Echeverry got in there. Now Miami. Taken down there was Ben Bonasso. Try last week for Miami, their victory over Old Glory. Right in the middle of the park now. Played back. Short ball there into the hands of Inciarte. Now it's Echeverry. Little dummy there. Chicago not fooled by it. Get the line setting a clean out. A pretty heavy one in there from Miami. Ricky Rose now. Down to the ground he goes. Kubeli quickly moves that ball. Laid back for him again. To the back now on a bounce. Tough handle and a good job by Miami to handle it. Here they come. They got speed. Down to the 5-meter line goes Marcos Young. Kubeli gets in there. Dangerous ball there. And to the line. Scott Green says, hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute, because there might have been a little bit of obstruction. They just kept going.
They did.
Kept going. Let's have a look. I'm unsure whether this is going to be given, unfortunately, for Miami.
It's going to go to Cam Russell, our TMO.
Come up to you, Cam. On-field decision. Try, I have a clear grounding by 2. I just need to check for potential obstruction. Up to the try. Please.
On-field decision try, checking for potential obstruction.
That's the voice of Cam Russell. So you heard Scott Green
running shoulder to shoulder together.
say that he had a grounding in the try. He said on the pitch, Kirby Myhill got it down, but it's in the hands of Cam Russell now.
Let's have a look if we can see, try and make it out from the TMO's view. Just watch, it's Benny Bonasso, number 6. Does he get in front of this? I think he does. I think he does.
It's got to have a decision.
Okay.
Number 6 is clearly in front, obstructing the green tackler. Overturn your decision. Penalty for obstruction.
No try, it's coming back.
Captain, who's captain? So, TMO said number 6 is clearly in front of number 2 and obstructs the tackler. Go no try, come back in for the penalty.
So there's the guilty party there, Ben Bonasso. As Will pointed out, look to you saw it live as obstruction there on him.
Yeah, it was just timing as they were continuously on the front foot, really smart, just consistent play from Miami, but then Bonasso just got in front of the ball carrier. As soon as you are in front of the ball carrier and someone almost connects with you, then you're going to be deemed in front of the ball. Yeah, all too obvious. Good decision from the TMO. And what I've got to say, I think I just heard over on the Tannoy, nearly 5,000 people in the stadium today. So, you know, I know the stadium looks pretty big, but these are good attendances building. Again, Chicago, second year in Major League Rugby. It's good to see.
48-22, the official number. And, of course, last night Utah played in the MLS stadium of Real Salt Lake. They had a massive amount of people in there. And speaking of massive, how about this push continuing from Chicago? They get it all the way over the halfway line. Miami gets its line set. Higgins trying to get this thing out. Dominguez saying he can't get the ball out. He still hasn't gotten it out.
Get it out. Jason Higgins, even he's got a bit of a smirk.
Like, what is going on?
Well, when you're big Ronaldo, Pussy, it's not so easy just to roll out the way when the big man's right at the bottom there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to get away with that. He's still holding on to it. That is, yeah, that's, you're never going to get away with that, Ben. You're never going to get away with that.
Come on, let me have it.
I know, Jason Higgins trying. He'll get it now, hopefully, off this line out.
Yep, here they go, and it's in his hands, and he spins it back. Push there from the Hounds, leading 38-26. Try here on this passage of play would really give him some breathing room. And look at Dominguez. Takes on 3 different defenders. So gritty, so tough. Knee wrapped, head wrapped, left the match, came back in, scored a try late in the first half. Carlson out.
He's been everywhere, hasn't he, Julian Dominguez? Both sides of the ball, but particularly those meters made. Defenders beaten.
Yep. Hounds get to it. There's a kick now. The run after it. The chase.
Smart.
Good
really
kick
smart.
in the 22. Beautiful kick.
Really, really like seeing that, Ben. I really like seeing that. That's heads up, smart game management from Luke Carty. His side was building some phases, but not really going anywhere. Look up. Where's the space? Into that corner. Rolls it all the way into that 5-meter zone. That's good fly half play, particularly around this part of the game, 66, 67 minutes. Just want to try and push your side up. At the end of the day, Miami have got to chase the game.
Yep.
It's hard chasing it from your own 5-meter line.
Sure is. Long way to go down the pitch. And bottom left corner of your screen, you see Julian Dominguez there getting a little stretch there on his legs. This throw is deep and long, but Miami able to gather it in. It was into the hands of Dutoit there. And this is into touch. Line out coming up here.
In the end, a pretty safe exit from Shane O'Leary.
Yeah.
So he's still got that knee pretty strapped up. Very hard.
You said he blew the whole knee out?
Yeah, ruptured PCL.
Wow.
So he had to work very hard to come back to fitness. Credit to him, credit to the medical staff in Miami as well. As I think big Ronaldo Pussy has just come off the field, the Uruguayan international, the tight head. But yeah, really pleased to see Shane O'Leary playing today. Unfortunately, it's the end of the season though, so.
Yep. Speed from the back here from Chicago. McDonald is in. You mentioned Reynaldo Pussy. Alec McDonald, number 18, is in for him at that tight head prop position. Now the Hounds, O'Keefe plays it outside. Carlson kick through on the ground, but it goes into touch. Had Brown there. If anybody could get that, it's Noah Brown.
I was just going to say, the right option, just not the right execution. Got out eventually.
Yep.
No, really smart. It's always good when you've got a player like Carlson on the field who's very, very comfortable, also playing at 10. He's a playmaker, he sees space. He's also got great footwork, but right choice of kick, just didn't quite keep it in play. You want to give Noah Brown some runway to go down. Boy, he's quick.
He really is. Michael Manson got world-class speed. 10-6, 10-7 in the 100. I don't think Brown would be very far behind him.
10-7.
That's
really?
insane.
That's insane.
That's like Olympic speed. What was your speed in the 100?
No comment.
Were you sub 11?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's definitely not that now. No, unfortunately, I never had those wheels. Some other areas of my game are okay, but not that area. I'll tell you.
Understood. I'm gonna have to pull some tape out when we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, my hamstrings still suffer from the final last year.
That's twice now, and I'm glad you said it in our first season working together. I haven't brought that up once, but you have brought it up twice, and I know it's still a memory for you. It was the last time you played was in this park and on this pitch, man.
It was nearly a year ago. Talking of injuries, unfortunately, I think that looks like Ardao, the number 8, who's who's there clutching his shoulder. It's definitely not what we want to see. Last game of the season for this Miami Sharks team. Really hope.
Just an absolute battle. Dominguez working on that. Looks like the left calf they were working at. Speaking of the playoffs, Will Hooley, the MLR championship game is Sunday, August 4th in San Diego. You won't have to travel far. At Snapdragon, we'll all come stay at your house. World famous DJ Marshmello is performing. Be sure to get your tickets at SanDiegoLegion.com. It is rugby time, America. The playoffs begin July the 20th with the Western and Eastern Conference quarterfinals.
Marshmello. That's massive. And if you haven't heard of them, then that's your issue.
That's what he told me last week. I didn't know who he was.
The big thing which I want to know is will he take his helmet / his head disguise off?
I'm going to say no.
No, it's his thing.
That's the mystique.
Yeah. So there you go, 4th of August. I mean, that's pretty amazing to come and see worldwide renowned DJ. Over 55 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's impressive.
He's involved in pretty much most top 10 songs, at least monthly.
Here's the playoff bracket. It's presented this season by sportsbreaks.com. New England, DC, as of now. NOLA, Chicago, as of now. We know for sure, Will, the West is completely locked. It'll be the All-Texas Showdown on July 20th at 7:30 Eastern on FS2, Houston, Dallas. And then the OGs in the West, Seattle and San Diego, button heads again.
Oh, boy. Look, I mean, all 4 of those games are going to be box office.
Yep.
But, yeah, Seattle, San Diego, there's a lot of history in that game. We got them. As a former Legion player, got them last year in the conference final. But it's got to be said that Seattle have been very good in playoff games. Chicago, as it stands, they'll be making their first playoff. And then NOLA Gold as well. They'll be making their first playoff.
Yep.
Good to see those guys make it through.
And I am checking on the score, and I'm going to hold that thought until this kick, because we're going to give you another live look in from about 45 minutes away from the White House in D.C. in Germantown, Maryland. Old Glory, they're doing their part. They're up 24-17. But if they win and Chicago wins, it's all for naught. Will be Chicago 3, Old Glory will stay at 4.
Statement, though, from DC. Real statement. And also this for Chicago. Run into the playoffs. Get that win in the last game of the regular season. Get your confidence. Unfortunately, Miami just falling apart a little bit now. But, yeah, have that confidence for DC. They never made their home a fortress this season. There's no doubt about that. And actually, finally, to see them performing so much better and then get a win. If they can get that win against NOLA, that's going to be big.
And let's think about this. As good as New England has been, 3rd straight Eastern Conference championship. They finished this season at 5-3 at home, 6-2 on the road. But 2 of the 3 losses came to Chicago and Old Glory.
Yeah.
And Old Glory got him in walk-off fashion with Robertson's kick. I believe it was in round 2.
It's a mental thing as a player as well.
Right.
You go to a venue and you have good experiences. You're going to naturally be like, well, we've been here before, guys. So for DC, if it remains as is at the moment, DC will not be afraid to go to the Free Jacks. And Chicago, they won't be afraid going to New Orleans because they also beat NOLA at their place.
And that was what started the win streak of 4 in a row. April 6th for Chicago was that win down against NOLA. And one more thing, New England Old Glory, the other match about a month ago, 1-point win. Patros and company went to DC and won by 1.
Honestly, Ben, it would not surprise me if Chicago and DC end up in the Eastern Final. It would not surprise me.
Okay.
Anyone has got their ability to beat anyone. Obviously, that is the case. But seriously, I'm impressed by the way Chicago are attacking. I still want to see them being more disciplined. That's going to really let them down if they go to New Orleans at their place and be ill-disciplined. But there's good teams in the East.
And Higgins couldn't get a handle on that, and he knocked it on. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then you got to factor in, too, this is the first year that we've ever had a 2-week break like this because of the international test matches that are going on. So you're going to have sides that aren't playing for, by the time they play, it's going to be 3 full weeks since they played. So you don't know what you're going to get back from some of these sides that are playoff team, you knock on wood, we hope there are no injuries, but there could be, and that could affect it too.
It's weird how we have this regular season and then it will almost feel like a mini new season when we get back.
Yeah.
And like you say, some important players, particularly if I look at Chicago. Luke Carty's had a fine game today, I think, again at number 10. You know, potentially player of the match candidate, you could say even. But he goes away, Nate Auersberger goes away, Bryce Campbell goes away, Jason Higgins, Mason Fletch, Lucas Rumble, they play with Canada. I mean, that's a backbone of your team right there for team like Chicago.
It is. Here's Miami. They still got time in this thing. They got just under 7 minutes remaining here, and they're down just 12 here. Couple of converted tries, and they would have the lead here. Let's see what they do here on this passage of play. O'Keefe got there first. Good offload. Sharks. Fred Apulu was the first one there for Chicago. They work it through. Echeverry, smart, heady player. Thought about making that pass initially and held it up. The line is set for Chicago. Miami, short with it, not much there. Battle at the breakdown continues here, and Chicago, they come away with it. They take it away. Down on the deck, and Scott Green's going to blow this down, and penalty call there going the way of Chicago.
Well, that was chaotic, wasn't it?
A little bit.
A few players trying to do some refereeing of their own, but Scott Green doesn't listen to any of that and think makes the right decision in the end. So Chicago, you like to think they've pretty much got this game locked up, as Luke Carty being very good kicking out of hand, not just into touch, but just marshalling his troops. Been some excellent kicks into the corner. Found he scored that try early on in the game. Goal kicking's been all right today. It's been pretty good actually overall.
Just been told that Old Glory with a drop goal, so they've went up 10 now on NOLA goal.
Jason Robertson. Was it Jason Robertson?
Not confirmed,
Not
but
confirmed.
that would be my
You'd like to
guess,
think.
but not confirmed.
There you go. Ooh, penalty count both teams is not. That does not look good. As neither did that throw.
Yikes.
As now Miami go on the attack.
Here they come. They've still got time here in this match. And a kick from Echeverry. Forcing Carlson back, and Adrian Carlson out. Gives the ball up. Now Higgins bangs one over the halfway line. Miami getting it back here with 4.5 to play here. Chase for Miami. Great job to get that ball and knocked away. Otherwise, the young pass may have been in the hands of the runner there.
And this looks like Luke Carty could be going to the sin bin, bigging him up.
Yep.
For a strong game that has happened, and now we have a few handbags.
Semper's flaring up now, and that's O'Keefe in there. Nose to nose in this battle. Everyone wrapped up. Miami, their season ends tonight. They know that. Chicago, still so much to play for. Dow in there, he is always around the physical part of this game, the number 8 for Miami. They finally get him separated. I'm surprised they did that quickly.
I've got to be honest, Ben, I was never in the middle of that.
You just watched, got out of the way. Smart guy.
Here we go.
Here's how it happened, Will.
That's great work from Marcus Young. And then, yeah, it was definitely a penalty offence by Luke Carty slapping the ball down, but then it's what happens here. Clearly trying to get hold of the ball quickly. Echeverry, number 23, has a few words, Lucas Rumble. Then McLean Jones comes in and says, well, why are you doing that to my friend? Oh, and then Mark O'Keefe comes in. It's all a little bit kind of gripping.
Okay, so okay. Got this, Cam. Okay, Cam, the facts on the field that we had 13 Green and 13 Pink have escalated the situation. They both run in and escalated the situation. Can you confirm those facts for us, please?
effects on field is both 13s have run an escalated situation. Just checking that that's the on-field effects.
So Cam Russell, our TMO. Scott Green wants to check the 2 13s. That's O'Keefe and Inciarte.
I question whether 13. I'm
23.
Sure 23.
Yeah, that's
what
what I'm
maybe they got
thinking.
the 1 and the 2 the wrong way round, guys.
I think so.
We shall see.
I
Get
think
it
so.
confirmed.
Scott Green in the middle there, and Andrew Dunn on the left. Khalil Harrison, our referee crew on pitch tonight. Tip of the hat to those men and women that work our matches in the regular season. Let's look back here, Will. Yeah, I think it's 23, don't you? Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, Inciarte is in there with a wrap, and they're nose to nose, so.
Oh, yeah.
Echeverry ran the interference for him, it looked like.
Scott, your effects on field are correct.
Okay, thank you. Captain. Bryce. Captain. Bring me 13.
Scott. Scott, can you hear me? Scott.
Both coming from a distance and escalated the whole thing.
Scott, can you hear me?
Not good enough.
Scott, can you hear me? TMO, check. Scott.
So Inciarte heading to the sin bin.
I think Echeverry's pretty lucky as well.
I do too.
That he's not been. And I question whether the TMO is trying to speak to Scott Green there.
Yellow on each 13. O'Keefe in the bin as well. And when you're a Chicago Hound and you're playing at home, you're not in the sin bin, you're in the doghouse, literally. Right there is a look at it. Clever marketing idea from the Hounds.
There's too many of them. So you got Luke Carty and Mark O'Keefe. They can't get in the doghouse. That's why they're sitting out.
Doghouse. My dog would love that thing. So those guys are done. And we've got 3.5 minutes to play. Miami, they're still alive in this match.
2 tries.
Yeah.
We've almost forgotten about it to a degree.
Yep, they're still in this thing.
Inciarte is not there, but they still have a man advantage.
They do.
If they push this in quickly.
Yep. Here they go. Jumper up, they get it down. McNulty's the hooker. He's got it under the left arm at the back. Sean McNulty inside of the 5. Still with it. Gotta be careful that line. McNulty still there. They give him a shove. He can't get it down though. And Chicago, good job taking him down. And the Hounds now the cleanup. Ball loose, a meter away. And they got it free, but did Chicago get it? They did. The Hounds come up with a turnover inside of their own 5. Could have sealed the game.
No, knock on.
Yes. So Scott Green stepping in to make that big call here.
If I was Miami now, I'd be trying to hurry this up.
Yeah.
You know, get set, get the scrum set, tell the referee in Chicago we're ready to go. And if they do time waste, then it's not on them. They put this in Miami. You never know. As you can hear the crowd in Chicago, see you get behind them. The Chicago faithful.
The dog pound. Almost 5,000 in there tonight. Damian Morley. He'll have the put in number 21 for Miami. Final 2 minutes here of the match. Down a dozen here are the Sharks. Penalty on Chicago.
Just go.
Yep.
Tap and go. You're going to kick it into the corner, maybe.
O'Leary going to pop this one out. Let's get a look real quickly at Will's Player of the Match candidates brought to us tonight by the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute.
Well, I'll start with Miami. Nick Grigg was superb in many facets of this game when he was on the field. A try to his name, 2 assists. Carty very much in control of proceedings with his boot, and then a try to himself. But Julian Dominguez, every time he's had the ball, he's beaten players with his footwork, his handoff, and he's got on the try-scoring board.
McNulty's got it inside of the 5. Lets it go to Morley. Spins it inside. Final minute of the match now. Chicago trying to make a final stand here and hold on to this lead and get this win and take the 5 points.
Need to score. Need to score now.
Have to. Rose got it for Morley from the base of that rock. Miami can't get things going forward here. Yep, Chicago's got it. They come away with it. Augsburger taking a look to the back now. Higgins gets in there. Short ball, just get it to ground here. That's all they're trying to do. Jason Higgins. You've hit 80 minutes here now. Chicago. Higgins at the back. Looking at Scott Green, says, can I kick this out? Miami over. There's Carlson, the boot. And there's the match. The Chicago Hounds. A 5-point victory, the bonus point win. They win 38-26. They will be the 3 seed. They'll meet NOLA Gold in the postseason. 2 sides meeting in the playoffs. For the first time ever, each side has been in the MLR playoffs.
Congratulations, Chicago Hounds. 3 games, 3 wins consecutively. And in the end, they got the job done today. Some fantastic rugby from both sides. And credit to Miami. They really stayed in the fight. And credit to them this season. They've had a really strong first season in Major League Rugby. But the Chicago Hounds, they go through to the knockout stages. They have 2 weeks off, 2 weeks of waiting. But when they come back, they'll be ready. And having this consistency, having these wins under their belt will be so good. There are still areas of their game that they need to improve, the discipline being one for sure. But in the end, they got the job done here at home, their final game at home this season.
Time now for the Northman Cider moment of the match. End of the first half, Will. Here it was.
Wow, what a work from the dog. Nate Osberger, USA International, from the kickoff. And then it was a spread wide. Great awareness from Luke Carty. Sends it over the top to the danger man, Julian Dominguez, who makes people look a little bit silly. Gets in for the try. That was what kicked off the momentum then. In the end, particularly in that first half, quality work from the Argentinian. And a really, really strong game from the winger as well.
And he stuck the landing. The butcher, Dylan Faucett, there with a couple of tries. That try by Dominguez put him up 31-26 at the half. Hounds win it 38-26. More to come right after this. Stopping them there, holding them up. Now Makini. Now Manson, here he goes with that speed. Manson to Makini. Here they come. Beautiful ball. Makini puts it into the hands there of Kieran McClay. And just like that.
Welcome to the Rugby Rundown on the Rugby Network, as we bring you your weekly rugby fix.
With the big news, special guests, and unparalleled access, this is your rugby show. Watch exclusively on the Rugby Network.
It's here and it's right for you, the rugby fans. It is the Fantasy League game for Major League Rugby. The only exclusive Fantasy League game for Major League Rugby globally. Getting started is easy. Just log into the platform, head to the play section, and you're in the game. But there's an important step, connecting your wallet.
That's right. To collect player cards, you need to fund your wallet. Oval E offers various options like Ramp, Taurus, MetaMask, each with its own advantages. This process is just a straightforward way to buy in-game tokens, enhancing your gaming experience by allowing you to access different features and player cards within the game.
Once you're set up, explore the play section to see available tournaments. It's where all the action happens.
Looking for new cards? Head to the primary marketplace. And if you're into trading, the secondary marketplace is your playground to sell and swap cards.
Ooh, Overly is not just a game, Corbs. It's a rugby community and an experience. Whether you're competing in tournaments or trading cards, there's something for every rugby fan.
Exactly. So log in, set up your wallet, and start your manager's journey in Overly. It's easy, fun, and the rewards are just waiting for you.
Tonight's presentation of Major League Rugby is brought to you by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, the official medical partner of the Chicago Hounds. By Marquee Sports Network, the official broadcast partner of the Chicago Hounds. And by Visa, main sponsor of the Miami Sharks. Hot day in Chicago and out west of downtown Chicago. Bridgeview, the Chicago Hounds lock up the number 3 seed. They'll face NOLA Gold on July 21st, 6:30 Eastern kick on FS2, and the other Eastern matchup is set. New England and DC will. This should be absolute theater between these two. They've played 2 matches in the regular season, each team winning on the opposition's pitch, and each match came down to the bitter end.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, and that actually was a game last year in the East Championship. The East Conference Final. So it's a really tight affair. And look, it's knockout rugby, and when you come to knockout rugby, you might as well throw the sort of the book out the window in terms of who's favourites here and who's favourites there, because really it's about who goes with the occasion. Can you perform under pressure? And here we go. There's some big games across the board in both the East and the West. Keep an eye on all of them when they come, as we come back in a few weeks' time.
Looking forward to it. It's time now for our Sports Breaks Player of the Match. He was the moment of the match, he's the player of the match, and he's standing by with Rob Hammerschmidt.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have player of the match, Julian Dominguez. Julian, a try, chewing up the meters, taking some head knocks, sacrificing, you're putting your body on the line. And when you came off for a little while there, the crowd was absolutely ecstatic. How important is it for you to get that kind of response from the Chicago Hounds crowd?
No, honestly, the crowd is the best. They're the guys that when we are down, they keep us up. They keep us accountable for our actions. So yeah, bringing the W here, it's so important for us, so important for the team, and obviously the playoffs, unreal. So happy for this season. Just let's keep going.
How important was it to get a victory here going into this international window prior to going into the playoffs against the NOLA Gold?
Yeah, it meant a lot to us, because obviously confidence, 3 games in a row is not easy at all. We had five days turnaround. We kept going, we played, we won. So yeah, it's all about the boys. The team is unreal. The head coach that stepped up, unreal. So I'm so proud for this team. Individually proud as well. So yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about confidence. The last time the Hounds visited New Orleans, you guys put up a big W, started a 5-game win streak. You've got to be feeling confident going into the gold mine in 3 weeks' time.
No, of course. It's my old house as well, so it's going to be a great game. Hopefully we do like the time we did when we play away there at the beginning of the season. We're going to be 100%, so yeah, we're excited for it.
Are you looking forward to a couple weeks of rest and recuperation?
Yeah, so well, yeah, I need it, 100%, yeah. I think the whole team is a little bit tired, so yeah, a couple of weeks is going to be good for us, for the body as well.
Well, congratulations on a great W, making the playoffs. Good luck in 3 weeks' time, mate.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you.
Cheers. Back up to you guys.
All right, the party continues in Chicago. Cranking out a little Journey there is the band that's playing, and I'm going back to my house. Julian Dominguez, 20-21, played 19 matches for NOLA Gold. Of course, came from the Austin Gilgronis, where Sam Harris, the former coach, had him. So that one's set. It'll be NOLA Gold in Chicago, the 2-3 matchup in the postseason on July the 20th.
And like you said, they have confidence. Going to a place that they know, and they've won there already this season. But at the same time as well, NOLA Gold will know that they've been beaten Chicago at their own place. So two teams who have impressed me this season at times, particularly in their attacks, will go head-to-head. Really exciting. And it's always exciting when I see players like Julian Dominguez come out firing. You want the best players. He's one of the best players in the league.
He is.
Playing with confidence, seeing his skill. And anyway, we shall see. We'll be back in 3 weeks.
We will. Can't wait for the playoffs to get going the third weekend of July. For Will Hooley, for Rob Hammerschmidt, Kyle Binder, all of our outstanding crew all season long here on our regular season broadcast. Ben Holden saying thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It was our pleasure to bring it to you. We will see you July 20th for the start of the MLR playoffs.
I have to say my favorite Thorne product is creatine, whey protein, vitamin D, super EPA, fish oil pills.
I chose to take Thorne supplements over another brand because they're sports backed.
We know it's tested and it's safe to use.
There's a wide variety of benefits that range from sports performance to neurological benefits. I know it helps me increase my lifting capacity.
That they're third-party tested, that they're NSF certified.
And they also taste great, so that's why I choose Thorne.
Let's get ready. Major League Rugby is now.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
The Rugby Network is giving you all the free MLR content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit, never miss a try, never miss your team. MLR on TRN. Never miss a match.
Rugby is a sport where teamwork truly makes the difference. In alignment with the values of rugby, Globant and Major League Rugby join forces in a powerful innovation scrum that aims to elevate the sport using the latest technologies. We are already co-creating digital solutions to impact the game, the fans, and the global community in a sustainable way. When technology meets passion, the unthinkable happens. Globant, technology that dares to delight.
Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick.